Planting 1 trillion trees could be one of the most effective tools we have to fight climate change.
Here's a summary of the article.
London, what's low-tech, sustainable and possibly the most effective thing we can do to fight climate change? Planting trees. Tom Crowther is a climate change ecologist at Swiss University of Zurich. 4 years ago he found there are about 3 trillion trees already on Earth, much higher than NASA's previous estimate of 400 billion. Now, his team of researchers has calculated there is enough room on the planet for an additional 1.2 trillion, and that planting them would have huge benefits in terms of absorbing atmospheric carbon dioxide, the main driver of climate change. The amount of carbon that we can restore if we plant 1.2 trillion trees, or at least allow those trees to grow, would be way higher than the next best climate change solution, Crowther told CNN. Because his research is currently under review for publication in the journal Science, he says he can't share exact figures of how much extra CO2 could be stored by those trees. Its number 1 ranked solution, managing the release of HFC greenhouse gases from fridges and air conditioners, could reduce atmospheric CO2 by 90 billion tons. Crowther says planting 1.2 trillion trees would give a reduction way above that figure.
This post received a score of 31,849, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Since the Industrial Revolution we've added over 820 billion tons of CO2 to our atmosphere. Your average tree sequesters a little less than 50 pounds of CO2 per year. So 1 trillion trees would be able to absorb all that CO2 in about 36 years after reaching maturity, which takes an additional 10 to 20 years. Afforestation also could be used to create windbreaking shelterbelts to stop desertification in Africa and northern China.
Reforestation is an excellent way to reduce carbon in the atmosphere, but your point about helping to prevent desertification could actually make the situation worse. I will look for the source, but there has been some research done into reforestation, irrigation in the Sahara, and researchers found that the amount of radiation that sand reflects is actually more than the net benefit of removing CO2. Keep in mind, by design forests absorb radiation. And deserts actually reflect huge amounts of energy back into space.
Not turning the Sahara into a forest, but rather stop the Sahara from keeping on expanding south, which is something that is happening at increasing speeds, if I recall correctly, thought that would warrant further Googling. The sand could reflect energy back into space, helping it not suck so much energy and heat, but the newly desertified areas can no longer support the population that inhabits them and causes all other number of complex to solve problems. More trees there would probably improve those economies, improve biodiversity recovery in the area, and in the meantime provide an alternative way to cool down the planet by absorbing CO2.
Oh, I totally agree that all options should be looked at, and reducing desertification is hugely important. I just wanted to point out that some suggestions can be counterintuitive. There has also been research into seeding clouds to reflect more radiation, and some more radical ideas about space shades and changing the color of the oceans. I just wanted to point out why the Sahara suggestion could actually do more harm than good.
Wow, somebody playing devil's advocate on the internet without being a total asshole. Well explained.
Right. And the point was not only well thought out, but researched as well. I am impressed.
Another organization dedicated to trees is the Arbor Day Foundation, with plans to plant 100 million trees. The best part is that with a $10 or $15 membership, they will ship you 10 one-year-old trees appropriate for your area. Or they will plant them on your behalf. What a great idea to get started in your own yard, or share some with neighbors.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.